This is the infamous 16-inch Intel MacBook Pro from 2019. It's crazy to think that this computer is 5 years old this year and truly marks the end of an era for Intel MacBooks. A moment of silence, please. Alright, that's all I have to give. Is this computer still fit in a world of Apple Silicon Macs? Let's find out. This Mac so happens to be the base model configuration, with a hexa-core i7, Radeon Pro 5300M, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 500 gigabyte SSD. And I don't know about you, but I still find those specs pretty reasonable. But maybe I'm just hallucinating here. Anyway, this MacBook was the first and last of its kind, which were crazy popular when they came out because Apple fixed a ton of problems this era of MacBooks had. Then they announced Apple Silicon a year later. Regardless, this laptop is 5 years old, and honestly, it really doesn't look like it. The design and build quality has aged really well, and you could really say the same thing with the Retina display as well. In terms of productivity, this Mac holds up pretty well. Of course, any of the basic stuff like desktop usage, casual web browsing, media consumption, etc. is really snappy, but that's to be expected. With its dedicated graphics, it isn't incredibly powerful these days. It also does do pretty well in photo and video editing, along with a few games, albeit at lower graphics options. Using this computer for school or any task that requires heavy use of typing is perfect paired with the Magic Keyboard that has good key travel and is overall pretty satisfying to type with. Not to mention this massive glass trackpad with haptic feedback, which is absolutely amazing to use for anything. Definitely does not disappoint, and one of, if not the best trackpad in the industry. The Retina display here gets nice and bright with vibrant colors and most certainly enhances the experience with its 3072 by 1920 resolution. Of course, all these positives are great and all, but not everything is perfect. Unfortunately, the battery in these Macs is the biggest letdown. Even when this computer was new, its battery was okay at best, and unfortunately, this particular computer has taken a beating over the years. With over 400 charge cycles, the battery has degraded down to 80% maximum capacity, which gets a good hour to 2 hours before it needs to be charged. Thankfully, a battery upgrade is possible. It's of course ranked most difficult on iFixit's website and takes hours to replace by yourself with multiple complicated steps. This very thing is the biggest advantage the new Apple Silicon MacBook Pros have over this. Lastly, the cost. I think the cost of getting one of these right now is an absolute steal, which goes well under $550. But these Macs solely have had the worst depreciation in Mac history. Seriously. Of course, it isn't surprising since M3 has been out for a few months now. I bought one of these a little under a year ago for $900, and now they've dropped over $400 in less than a year. That's crazy. I don't know the exact percentage drop, but it's definitely massive. Regardless, taking into consideration its horrible depreciation and battery life, I still think it's a solid MacBook Pro. It's still an incredibly well-built machine that is still supported by macOS updates and has years of life left in it. So, if it isn't obvious already, yes, I still recommend this MacBook. It's got a decent screen size, it's reasonably powerful, and the speakers sound really good on these. Overall, I've really enjoyed using this Mac. You know, it's aging, but I love it. It's been good. And if you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out the videos above. Don't forget to like, subscribe, etc. Anyways, thank you so much for watching.